made this whole story that I came in the industry to like take over somebody's career or like make them think, but it's like I never thought that. I just wanted to become famous at what I like to do. That's all things. Sometimes people just don't get along with each other, and if they don't get along with each other, it's no more like, oh, but I think that they don't get along with each other because somebody from the higher ups wanted to make and destroy and this and that. No, this is what I was destined for. I was destined to become this. Whether, no matter who signed me, no matter what, I was going to be famous and I was going to be a rapper no matter what, because this is what I invested my time with, invested my own money with. Like before I got signed, I was investing my money. It's nothing.
You know, this is just a smear campaign backpedaling method. I mean, props to Cardi. I like that, her album's doing good and everything's doing good, and she has her head in the game. But, we need to learn how to call a spade, and that spade is you did try to go after Nicki Minaj. Yes, you did. I would love to believe that you were just focused on your music, but I don't, because you threw a shoe at this woman on a red carpet. You always had an issue with her. Always. And the thing with women is, because women pay attention to words and not actions, they think that everybody else is the same. I pay attention to actions and not words. And if you ladies are dating and you don't want to be at the hands of predators, you listen with your eyes, not your ears. So it would be very easy to say, well, maybe she was focused, but I don't see it. I don't see the track record of that. I don't see it. So again, this is something that a lot of people will face in life, is when smear campaigns fail and when takedown conspiracies, when people conspire to take you down and they get together to take you down and it doesn't work, they will backpedal and act like it never happened, or act like it wasn't a big deal, or act like, oh no, that wasn't. They're going to always do that because in their mind, when they were trying to go after you, they were certain that they would remove you. Okay, they were certain that they could, but they couldn't, right? And a lot of times this will happen to you guys in your family. Sometimes your parents were the weapons formed against you, right? And your parents thought you weren't going to become anything because they tried to stop you. And then once you become something, it's like, oh, we always knew our daughter would be successful. We always knew our son was going to do great things. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You've said some of the most vile things to your child, but they surpassed that. They rose above that. They still made something out of themselves regardless. And now, because your words and your antics against that child didn't work, now all of a sudden it's, wow, we're so proud of our kid. This is how people operate. Okay, so let's get into it.
Oops. And then the funny thing about this entire phenomenon is when people literally tried to end you. And sometimes what's crazy about it all is sometimes when people are doing smear campaigns and conspiring to take you out, they don't know that you know about the email that they sent. They don't know that you know about the text that they sent.
That's why I'm always telling people, I'm always telling men, I'm always telling women, hate cannot be your motivator. That cannot be your motivator. Trying to get in the way of another person's blessing that God has for them. God has a blessing for somebody and you're trying to get in the way. When somebody is destined for something, you can't get in the way of that. You can try to make it harder. You can try to make the process longer, but you're still going to have to live to see them win and be happy. And while they're living and being happy, you're going to be suffering. Usually that's how it goes. The person that initiates the campaign usually suffers while watching the other person win.
Right? They don't know that you know that they were spreading lies about you and it got back to you. They don't know that you know. You're just probably not going to tell them. I usually don't tell them. I kind of just let them think that I don't know. But a lot of them don't know that you know the role that they played in making your life harder. And one thing I will tell you guys is never forget who tried to make things difficult for you when things were already hard. Never forget people who tried to make your life hard or who tried to get in the way of an opportunity for you. Never forget people who tried to get in the way of your progression. Okay? You want to know why I say don't forget it? Because when God spins the block for you, and God sets the table for you, and God sets a table for you in the presence of your enemies, what's going to happen is these people, because a lot of time passed by, they're going to come congratulate you. Oh, yeah. They're going to be the first people to walk up to you at the event and congratulate you, not knowing that you know about those emails that they sent. But because nothing worked, they don't have a choice but to respect you now because the takedown didn't work. And I kind of think that's what happened with Cardi B. Cardi B saying that what happened between her and Nicki Minaj was something that the fans made up. When there are receipts, when there are people who have come forward about the plan, it's like it wasn't successful. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. So because you couldn't do it and it didn't work, and the number one way that women destroy other women is via reputation damage. That's how they do it. They couldn't damage Nicki Minaj because of her fan base. She has a very solidified fan base. So when people have a fan base, people will say, oh, no, that's not a fan base. That's a cult base. No, you're just jealous because people don't ride for you the way their fans ride for them. It has nothing to do with a cult or, oh, this person puts spells on their fan base. No, their fan base likes them. Their fan base respects them. Their fan base honors them. Their fan base feels connected to them. Your fan base doesn't really feel that way about you. So anytime you come for that person and their fan base attacks you, you take it as, oh, this is a cult following. No, this person has a group of people behind them that truly are down for them. That's the way it is. So one thing I can say about the Barbs is that fan base is... Nicki Minaj has a solid fan base, period. MJ, solid fan base. Some people just have a very... I hate to say it, Donald Trump. Let me tell you, MAGA doesn't play when it comes to Donald Trump. And that's not me talking about politics or anything like that. Red is better, blue is better. I'm not saying who I support, who I don't. I don't even get into politics. But I'm just saying that when people have a solidified fan base, a concrete fan base, those are not easy people to just take down. It's very hard because of how their fan base feels about them. So with Nicki Minaj, her fan base will always uphold her numbers, no matter what. And I think that at the time, Cardi was being used, or maybe she decided to go against Nicki Minaj, not knowing that it just was not going to work. One, because of Nicki. Nicki has staying power. And two, her fan base would never allow you to cancel her. And all those things. So what you guys may be thinking, okay, Mel, what does the celebrity stuff have to do with me? I'm going to tell you, I am not a blogger. I am not a celebrity blogger. I've had a lot of celebrity blog pages trying to send me emails. Please don't send me emails about celebrity gossip. I am not a celebrity blogger. This is not a celebrity blogging page. However, if a celebrity or a famous person or a famous situation is going on, I am going to talk about it to my subscribers so I can have a message in the situation so they can learn and ascend. I'm not a celebrity blogger. So you guys may be thinking, okay, Mel, what the hell does this have to do with me? Well, you can take this as an example of when people fail at destroying you, they're going to act like they never had a role to play in your demise. They're going to blame it on another person, or they're going to say, oh, that's not true. They made it up. Because you have to remember, they don't feel like it's not true. They're not sorry. Don't believe that they never had an issue with you. They did. It just didn't work. It just failed. The takedown failed. So because the takedown failed and you have too much power, it's like, okay, let me just act like I didn't remember what I did to her. You know, I encounter this a lot of times with women from my past, like college, high school, like girls that used to try and bully me, girls that kind of like the Cinderella effect where they always knew I was that girl, but I didn't know I was that girl. So because of that, they kind of like downplayed me and degraded me in many different ways. Now, when they encounter me, it's almost like they literally act like they don't remember. And then I have to give them that confused face when they try to come and talk to me, and then they just walk away and they're like, oh, wow, she does remember. Like, yeah, you don't remember why we stopped talking? You don't remember the rumors that you spread? Did you forget? But a lot of times when people see that what they did to you doesn't work, they act like it never happened, or they blame it on another person to get back in your good graces again. And that's something that you have to look out for.
If you don't resonate or align with my teachings, then my content is not for you. Avoid commenting, subscribing, or interacting. Instead, go to a page where you resonate. If you comment something foul, disrespectful, or like something foul or disrespectful, you will be blocked. I will also block you if you comment any contradictory to my message. I don't post for your agreement, so please think about that before you run and comment, I don't agree. Think about that. It doesn't matter. I post what I am led to post. Your agreement or okay was never needed. I don't need your permission. Let's get into it.
This is a very important topic, and the reason why is because as you guys are on your path to success, your path to ascension, your path to doing better in life, you have to really prepare yourself for people who conspired with others to take you down and see you fail. They will come back up to the surface. They will reappear again. I promise you. Whether they reach out to you, they text you, they call you, they DM you, they see you at an event, people will come back to the surface with fake congratulations, fake I knew you would always do it, fake I knew you would be great one day. When they fail at destroying you, they're going to try and be cool with you. And you have to be aware of that. Do not allow anybody to backpedal, okay? You have to have awareness so that you can protect the fortress that you're building. It's all about self-protection and self-preservation.
But this is what happens all the time. When people think that they're going to come together, they've probably did it to you guys listening. People thought they were going to come together and take you down, and they thought they were going to come together and ruin your life, and it didn't work. And because it didn't work, they act like they don't remember. They literally act like they don't remember. Have you ever, okay. Have you ever, encountered somebody from your past that was like conspiring with people, sending emails about you, dropping lies about you, rumors, reputation damage, all that crap that they try to do. And then years later, when instead of going down, it's like God elevates you times 10. And when they meet you again, you're a lot more successful than when they last saw you. And then they act like, it's like they try to talk to you and act like they forgot what they did. People are such losers. And when you realize that, you're going to stop seeking people's validation. You don't need it. Has that ever happened to you? Sometimes it's a family member that was trying to stop you from going to college or screwing up your college applications that they were submitting for you because you were so young, right? And then it didn't work. You still went to college. You still got your degree. You still came back home with your graduate degree. You landed a wonderful job for a wonderful company. And now it's like, oh my God, congratulations. And it's like, do you not remember that you tried to screw up my whole college experience? But what happens when people fail at taking you down? They either one, act like they don't remember, which is why we don't allow people to spin the block on us, right? You remember what you did. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. I don't care if it's been 50 years. You did what you did, and you think that because it's been 50 years that all is forgotten. All is not forgotten. It's still very fresh in my mind. When people gather together and you're the subject of discussion. You are the person that they're thinking, okay, how are we going to take Ashley down? How are we going to take Mel down? Let's all talk. Let's all be cowards and losers and talk and try to put a master plan together. And the master plan fails. And they fail at you making you lose. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to start backpedaling. Okay, now they're going to act like, no, I didn't try to do that to him. I didn't try to do that to her. I didn't try to get her fired. No, I didn't try to get her pregnant and make her a single mother and ruin her life. No, I love her. No, you tried to get that lady pregnant because you thought you were going to ruin her life and the baby was going to slow her down. She told you there's the door. She still went to law school. She got her law degree. She's an attorney at the biggest firm. She takes care of her kids and she found another man to love her. And you thought that what you did was going to work. And it didn't. And that is what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. As many people that try to come together, let's insert those smear campaigns and cahoot systems and the hives that women like to build. They thought that they were going to somehow, end you or they thought in their mind that they were going to take you out, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So now that it didn't work, they just going to act like they never had an issue with you. Oh, I didn't have an issue with her. No. Why would I have an issue with her? I never had an issue with you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It didn't work. Okay. What you tried to conspire, it failed. All of y'all failed. Y'all teamed up and still failed. How embarrassing. It still failed. Even with the group, it failed. But then when they encounter you, it's a mixture of shame and embarrassment. They're embarrassed because you know what they did. And they're ashamed because it's like, well, damn. Like, I went through all that hell. All that conspiring, all the phone calls, all the emails I sent, all the practitioners I visited for you, all the dolls of you that I created, and it still didn't work. Like, it's shameful. They feel ashamed. So by Cardi B, acting like, Cardi B's doing her thing. Good for her. Props to her. Sending her, wishing her a beautiful delivery. But Cardi, we're not going to let you act like you never had an agenda with Nicki Minaj. We're not going to let you act like it's something that the fans created. No. You were on your high horse. You had the Migos on your team. You had Offset on your team. You had Lil' Kim and all these people that had an issue with her in the industry. You had them all on your team. The City Girls were throwing shade at Nicki all the time. All of you guys were team end Nicki, and you couldn't end Nicki. So now you don't have the right to sit up in here and act like you don't remember. Or act like it's something that the fans made up. If the fans made it up, then why did you throw that shoe at her at the red carpet event and declass and ghettoify the event? Obviously, you had a deep-rooted problem with this woman. It had nothing to do with the fans. You had a deep-rooted issue with her because you encountered her and you automatically put in your mind that you and her were on the same level. And that is the issue with the community of women, is there's no hierarchy amongst women. Women don't have a hierarchy system. They don't. A woman will walk into the workplace that you've been working at for 5 years. You've built your notoriety there. You've built your connections there. You've learned the systems. You've become an asset to the company. And a woman will walk in there on her first day and think in her mind that she can take your spot. Why? It's a lack of humility. It's a lack of understanding. This is not high school. You don't just get to walk into places where people have been there long before you and put in your mind that you are owed the same that they get. But again, with women, there's no hierarchy system amongst women. So a woman will just meet a guy who's married and just assume that he's going to just leave his wife for her, like off the bat. Like, it's this weird Like women, I always tell women, I hope you're thinking in real world mentality and not in fantasy, whimsical mentality, because I hate to say it, but a lot of women have this very strange thought processes of there are no levels. Women don't think in levels terms because they think we're all on the same level. That's why a woman will start competing with a woman that she can't even be compared to. It's very scary. It's like your purse brand is at Walmart, but you're trying to compete with Balmain or Hermes. Like, how could your purse brand be at Walmart? You have a Walmart purse brand. I don't know what the purse brands are at Walmart. You got a Walmart purse brand, but you're online or going to events throwing shade at Hermes. Ma'am, you had to have had a bottle of whiskey for breakfast because you're competing where you don't even compare. And some delusional women around you are going to say, yeah, you better talk about Hermes. You better call out Hermes. Ma'am, your purse is in Walmart. Like Hermes should not even be in your mind. Like, ma'am. Oh my God. It's like these ways of thinking is scary. And I always tell women, if you don't grow out of that, when you go into, places where hierarchy is established, you're going to be embarrassed. Because the upper echelon part of society, they understand hierarchy really well. They respect it. And that's why they live the way they live, away from regular civilians, because they have a lot to lose. They don't want to be around people who have nothing to lose. Why? Because when you have a lot to lose and you get around people who have nothing to lose, they will help you lose everything. That's why the more successful people become, they start straying away from the regular class civilians. And you'll notice they go to specific communities. They go to specific gyms. They go to specific restaurants. They go to specific private spas because they don't want to be around regular civilians. They work too hard to be around regular civilians. If you want to be around them, you're going to have to work as hard as they did to be able to go to the places they go to and get the memberships they have. And guess what? By going through the process that they went through, you're going to have a mutual respect for them. Successful people have a mutual respect for one another. Why? Because they understand each other. You had to work hard and get it through the mud. I had to work hard and get it through the mud. I have a respect for you because I know how hard it is because I did it. And you have a respect for me because you know how hard it is and you did it. But it's people who are extremely delusional in thinking that they automatically walk into places where there's a hierarchical system set, and they automatically believe that they are on the level of the highest bidder. And I think that was the issue with Cardi B. She walked into the industry, she saw Nicki, and she automatically believed, okay, me and Nicki were the same. How? Because you're both women. Only women think that everybody's just like them because you carry the same body parts. Yeah, we're just both biologically women. It doesn't mean that we're the same. It doesn't mean that we have the same work ethic. It doesn't mean that we're in the same. That's not what that means. You can't just encounter Michelle Obama. You can't just encounter Oprah Winfrey and think that because you and Michelle Obama are both women, or you and Oprah Winfrey are both women, that you guys are automatically the same. In what category are we talking? Biologically or career-wise? Because if it's career-wise, you guys are nowhere near each other. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be conscious of that. And a lot of you ladies, as you move up the ladder, and gentlemen, men are not going to have that problem because men have a hierarchy system amongst themselves. Not amongst men and women, but amongst men alone. Men have a hierarchy system. So that's why with men, there's less catty fights. There's less back and forth. There's less of that because men have a hierarchy system in place. That's why when Young Thug was dragging Gunna's name through the mud, Gunna never said anything. Why? Because at the end of the day, Young Thug gave Gunna an opportunity, right? And Gunna respects that. Even though he did his thing and everything worked in his favor, because he is talented and he has a good aura, things just worked out for him. But notice how Gunna never went online and bashed Young Thug. Why? Because men have a mutual respect for one another that women don't have. Women have a respect problem in their community. A woman will be the one that gave you the issue and you're going to go online and talk trash about her. You will be sitting there copying a woman foot for foot, word for word, and you're still going to fix your mouth and go online and talk bad about her. Women are very dangerous when it comes to the respect thing because there is no hierarchy system amongst women. So because there's no hierarchy system, they talk crazy about each other. With men, you'll notice, has Drake or Tyga ever went online and trash talk Lil Wayne? Never. They can't, because Lil Wayne gave them an opportunity. Lil Wayne put them on the map. No matter how they end on bad terms or not, men are not going to really go online and trash talk a man who gave them an opportunity or who was ahead of them. They're not going to do that. But women do it all day because they lack respect. That's the thing. You're going to go online and talk about a woman who's ahead of you. Why? Because they don't understand hierarchy. So because women don't understand or respect hierarchy, women don't have a power structure and they never will have one. Because in order to have a power structure, you have to respect when somebody's ahead of you. Women don't really know how to do that. So when they come together, it's no longer hey, you've been a lawyer much longer than me, right? You've been a lawyer for 10, 15 years ahead of me. You've seen more than me. Let me sit down since you're a lawyer so you can teach me how to be a better lawyer and what to look out for. No, she's going to become jealous of the lawyer that has more experience than her. She's going to try to take her down instead of learning from her. Why? Because there's a lack of hierarchical system in the community of women. There is no hierarchy. So where there is no hierarchy and where there is no respect for hierarchy, there's not going to be any structure or order. There's not going to be any regulations because the respect is not there. So when Cardi B came into the industry, it's like, oh, yeah, Nicki was here long before me. Yeah, she has more experience than me. Yeah, she's a better lyricist than me. Yeah, she writes her own raps. Yeah, she got it in from the mud. Yeah, she had one of the best mentors to exist, Lil Wayne and Miss Deb. Yes, she has people in her corner that put her on the map. Yes, she's done music with the greats like Jay-Z, Kanye, but I'm not going to see that though. I'm going to just automatically put in my mind that me and her are on the same level. And that's where she messed up. That's where she screwed up. So when they tried to do the massive takedown of Nicki Minaj, it didn't work. So now it's like, oh no, that never happened. No, it did happen. It did happen. It did. It just didn't work. Right? It just didn't work. Right? And this is what happens to some of you guys, is you're going to meet people from your past that try to wipe you out, essentially, and it didn't work, and they are going to play the victim card or act like they didn't know what was going on. Oh, I didn't do it. I'm not the one that, because they thought it was going to work and it didn't. So always keep that in mind, that your opposers, later on, when God puts you on the map, they're going to act like they didn't know what was happening.
You have to be willing to weaponize your masculinity as a woman. Masculinity is not bad. Masculine energy is not bad. I don't know why people keep saying that. Masculine energy is the ability to reach a goal. Masculinity is what? Goal-oriented, structurally, orderly, being able to show up on time's precision, logic, rationality. Nothing about that is bad. So with the October spooky season coming around and holiday season, make sure you guys are okay being the villain. Yes, villainhood is a real thing, and that's what this class is going to talk about. We are going to speak on the characteristic traits and approaches you have to take when you are no longer living your life to be accepted and validated by people while accepting their bad behavior. Sometimes being the protector in your book looks like being a villain in another person's book. It's all a psychological mind game. If you don't choose yourself, if you don't choose your happiness, if you are not unapologetically you and winning without feeling apologetic about it, guess what? People are going to view you as a villain. But if you already walk in villainhood, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is going to be a good class, especially in conjunction with weaponizing your masculinity. You have to get comfortable with being viewed as a villain. You need a strong mental mind to accept people villainizing you because you are being and doing your best.